Yeah, and I think we've got the question. I think it's a bit of a delay, but the Kings, you were nervous at first, but then you've come in, you've got, and the question really is, how do you feel anxiety around people that you perceive to be better than you? In this case, maybe part is in speaking, but it could affect in other areas as well. In my experience, for sure. Marilyn.
Yeah, so that's a really interesting one. I was smiling, going, ooh, I think he's talking about us. And then I'm like, and I know how that feels. And there's good news and bad news. Let me give you the bad news first. The bad news is there's always, whatever field you're in, there's going to be somebody who is ahead of you in that field, who has more skills, more knowledge, more expertise. The good news is there are always going to be people in your field for whom you are ahead. So there are probably people looking at Annie and going, oh, wow, in a particular area, you are excelling. So my thing has always been, number one, that's just life. It just is. And if we let that put us off, it happens in all areas of life. You name an area, there's going to be somebody just coming up and learning. There's going to be someone who is perceived to be the expert. So now my thing is, let me learn at the feet of the giants. Let me see what I can take from that. And I remember when I first got into personal development in October 2000, I sat in the training room. There was a guy called Paul Vernon who was running the room. So you ask Paul a question, bang, quick as a flash, he comes back with an answer. You're stuck. He pops up like a genie. He can help you get unstuck. And I remember sitting in the room in Kensington in London, watching him work the room. There's like 70, 80 people. I'm like, I want to be like that one day. In January 2001, so just literally 4 or 5 months later, I was doing Paul's job, not because I took his job. He was standing in for someone who had gone back to Australia. And so they offered me the job. And I started then being out on the road in the February, and I'm running around the room. People are putting their hand up. Marilyn, come start with this. Marilyn, can you help with that? And then suddenly, I just suddenly had a deja vu. It's like, oh my God, hold on a minute ago. A few months ago, I was sitting in the chair where they are, looking up at Paul and wishing I could be like that. And now people are looking at me, and somebody said, oh my gosh, I can't wait till I'm like you. No matter what you say, you come up with an answer. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is deja vu. So I'd say keep learning, keep practicing, keep applying, because if you are persevering and you're focused, the day will come, and it can come really quickly, where someone is looking up to you for your skills, for your knowledge, for your expertise. And I'd say and I'm an eternal student. I say I'm a continual learner. They're going to be probably putting the coffin down. I'll be going, no, one more thing. What about X, Y, Z? Because I just love learning. So for me, I'm not intimidated by that. If anything, I'm inspired, because I'm like, wow, look at what's achievable. Look at what can be done. There's my next roadmap. So that's my take on that one. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Marilyn. What's your take, Sharon?
Yes, I totally agree with everything Marilyn said. And also, Annie, I applaud you as well for coming back on the stage. Thank you so much. That took a lot of courage, and you have it. That took confidence, and you did it. And no one's better than us. What they might do is it might be better than us, but a person is never better. So I would rephrase that and say maybe the skill set might be better, right? I sit in a room here on Clubhouse often, and 95% of the time, my mic is closed, because these are business people who have different types of business experiences that I don't have. And I'm totally okay with that. I don't want to be the smartest one in the room, and I'm far from it in certain rooms, because I'm me and they are them. So now the thing is, at 5% of the time in that other room, I open my mic when I'm able to speak about what I do, because everybody brings their own secret sauce to the room. Nobody's better than anybody. However, though, certain people do certain things and they have more experience in areas than other people, and I'm totally okay with that, right? So that's the thing. And finally, I'm a teacher by trade. And I tell my students all the time, or I've told them all the time, this thing could flip and they could be in front. In fact, I do that. I used to do that sometimes. I would put them in front of the class and say, okay, teach us something. Teach me something, and the class something that we don't know. And there's always a student, always, every last one of them, that brings something to the table that we don't know, and they're teaching us something, whether it be sports, playing an instrument, speaking a language, something. So you are Annie, and you bring something to the table. Embrace that. People will respect it. So I applaud you as well. Sharon Dunn speaking.
Wise words there from Sharon and Marilyn. And the one thing I would add is that, when I've been to groups and places, and I felt intimidated by people. Oh my gosh, you put them on a pedestal, but actually they're the people you want to hang around with, people who have got more greater experience, because that's where you will learn and you will grow as well. That's why we have mentors, people who maybe they're on the same journey as us, they're just further along, or they started a bit before us, and therefore they have something, wisdom that they could share, maybe some experience, some advice, and they're the people that we want to be with as well. But Annie, has that all helped you, my friend? But thank you, my friend, for coming back. So Sharon mentioned as well, we applaud you for coming back. And maybe I'll tell you, there'll be people in the room now admiring you for coming back and being the one on the stage and speaking and asking the question, because other people will feel that they can't do that. They're not ready just yet. They might do it another day. So, some people will be doing that to you. So thank you for being with us.
Oh, look at Annie encouraging people. I love it. Yes.